Hey there, science fans! Today we're diving into the fascinating world of genes, the instruction manuals that make you, you. Imagine a massive library filled with thousands of books, each containing the recipe for a different protein or molecule. That's your DNA. These genes don't just sit there gathering dust, they're constantly being read and translated into action. This process, called gene expression, determines everything from your eye color to your susceptibility to certain diseases. Think of it like baking a cake. Your DNA holds the recipe book, but it's the active ingredients and their amounts that determine the final product. Sometimes we need to understand which genes are turned on or turned off in a cell to understand what's happening. That's where DNA microarrays come in. These tiny chips are revolutionizing how we study gene expression and unlock the secrets hidden within our DNA. So, what exactly are DNA microarrays? Picture a microscopic chessboard with thousands of squares. On each square we attach a specific DNA sequence like a tiny genetic name tag. Now imagine taking a sample of cells, say from a healthy person and a person with a particular disease. We extract the RNA from these cells. RNA is like a messenger molecule that carries the instructions from DNA to the protein-making machinery. We then label each RNA sample with a fluorescent dye, one color for healthy and another for diseased. Next, we pour these labeled RNA samples onto our microarray chip. The RNA molecules bind to their matching DNA sequences on the chip, like puzzle pieces finding their perfect fit. This binding process is called hybridization. The brighter the fluorescent signal on a particular spot, the more active that specific gene is in the sample. Pretty cool, right? Now let's break down the DNA microarray process into four main steps. First, we have sample preparation. This involves carefully collecting the cells or tissues of interest and extracting the RNA, which represents the active genes. Next is labeling. We tag the RNA molecules from different samples with different fluorescent dyes, allowing us to compare them later. The third step is hybridization. We apply the labeled RNA to the microarray chip and let the magic happen. Complementary DNA and RNA sequences find each other and bind, creating a colorful pattern on the chip. Finally, we have data analysis. This is where things get really interesting. Using specialized scanners and software, we measure the intensity of each fluorescent spot on the microarray. This data tells us which genes are more or less active in different samples. Section 4. A rainbow of insights. Interpreting microarray results. Imagine looking at the microarray chip under a special microscope. You'll see a dazzling array of colors. Each spot on the chip corresponds to a specific gene, and the color intensity reveals its activity level. For example, a bright red spot might indicate a gene that's highly active in cancer cells compared to healthy cells. Conversely, a dim green spot might represent a gene that's suppressed or inactive in the cancer sample. By analyzing these patterns, scientists can identify genes involved in various biological processes, including disease development, drug response, and even normal cellular functions. It's like having a snapshot of what all the genes are doing in a cell at a particular time. These colorful patterns provide invaluable clues for understanding the complexities of gene expression and its impact on health and disease. Section 5. From bench to bedside. Real-world applications of microarrays. DNA microarrays are not just a laboratory curiosity, they have real-world applications that are transforming medicine and beyond. In disease profiling, microarrays help identify unique genetic signatures associated with specific diseases. This information is crucial for developing accurate diagnostic tests and predicting disease progression. Drug discovery is another area where microarrays shine. By comparing gene expression patterns in cells treated with different drugs, researchers can identify promising drug targets and predict drug efficacy and potential side effects. The era of personalized medicine is also being fueled by microarray technology. By analyzing an individual's genetic makeup and gene expression profile, doctors can tailor treatment plans, predict drug responses, and even assess disease risks with greater precision. Beyond healthcare, microarrays find applications in diverse fields like agriculture, where they help develop crops with improved yields and resistance to pests and diseases. Section 6. The future of gene expression, opportunities and challenges. DNA microarrays have opened up exciting new avenues for understanding the intricate world of gene expression. However, like any powerful tool, they come with their own set of challenges. One of the main challenges is dealing with the sheer volume and complexity of data generated by microarrays. Analyzing and interpreting this data requires sophisticated computational tools and expertise. Another consideration is the need for validation. While microarrays can identify potential gene targets, further experiments are necessary to confirm their roles in specific biological processes or diseases. Despite these challenges, the future of DNA microarrays is bright. Advancements in technology are making them even more powerful, sensitive, and affordable. As we continue to unlock the secrets of gene expression, we can expect to see even more groundbreaking applications in medicine, agriculture, and beyond. So stay tuned, science enthusiasts. The journey into the fascinating world of genes and gene expression has just begun. High blood pressure. It's often called the silent killer. Why? Because it can creep up on you without any warning signs. Many people have it and they don't even know. This hidden danger is real. It affects millions across the globe. This condition is a major health concern. It can quietly damage your body for years before you feel anything is wrong. So, what is hypertension really? It's the medical term for high blood pressure. It sounds simple, doesn't it? But it's more complex than it seems. Your blood pressure is the force of blood pushing against your artery walls as your heart pumps it around your body. This constant force is vital. Your heart is an amazing pump. It works tirelessly every second, pushing life-giving blood to all your organs through a network of tubes called arteries. This movement naturally creates pressure. A certain amount of pressure is normal, it's absolutely necessary for life, but there's a delicate balance here. Too much is where the trouble starts. When that pressure gets too high and stays high over time, that's when we call it hypertension. Imagine a garden hose. If the water pressure is too strong, the hose can get damaged. Your arteries are similar in this way. They are not designed for constant high pressure. We measure blood pressure with two numbers, systolic when your heart beats, and diastolic when your heart rests. Know your numbers, know your risk. Why all this fuss about high blood pressure? Because hypertension isn't just a pair of numbers, it is a serious, genuine health risk. It's a condition that can lead to severe problems if it's left unchecked and unmanaged. The consequences can be truly devastating. High blood pressure silently damages your arteries. It makes them become harder and much less flexible over time. This process is called atherosclerosis. It restricts blood flow to vital organs. This damage can lead to major health crises like heart attacks, strokes, and kidney disease. It can also affect your eyesight, leading to vision loss in some cases. Prevention is always better than cure. So, taking control of your blood pressure is vital. It's essential for your well-being and for ensuring a healthier future. Recognize the risks, understand the stakes, and choose to manage it effectively. Your body will thank you for it. Now let's delve into your genes. The DNA passed down through your family determines so much about you. But can it also determine your blood pressure? This is a question scientists have studied for many years. Does your family history play a role? If your parents had high blood pressure, does that mean you're destined for it too? The answer is, genetics are indeed a big factor. We often see hypertension running in families. This pattern strongly suggests a genetic link, and modern science backs this observation up. If you have close relatives with hypertension, your own risk is generally increased. This doesn't mean it's a certainty, but it does mean you need to be more aware and proactive about your health. This knowledge is a powerful tool. It helps you understand your personal risk, so you can take early action. Hypertension is typically polygenic, meaning many different genes are involved. Each one might have a small effect, but together their combined impact can be large. This makes it a complex genetic puzzle. Researchers are working hard to understand it better. Unraveling this complexity is ongoing. Section 5. Key genetic players. Meet the genes influencing your pressure. Scientists are like genetic detectives. They are constantly hunting for these specific genes, the ones that influence your blood pressure. And they have found quite a few culprits. These discoveries are helping us understand more about how hypertension develops in our bodies and why some people are more susceptible. Some of these genes have names. You might hear about the AC gene or the AGT gene, which stands for angiotensinogen. These genes play roles in regulating things like how your body handles salt and manages its fluid balance, both of which directly impact your blood pressure. Small variations in these genes can matter. They can subtly shift your body's settings. These genes often influence key hormones that control your blood vessels. For example, the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. Genes affecting this system can nudge pressure up by making vessels tighten too much or retain fluid. Understanding these genetic players is important. This knowledge can guide prevention and help tailor treatments more effectively. Section 6. Beyond our genes, the powerful impact of our world. So, we've talked about genes, they are definitely part of the story, but they are not the whole story. Your environment and your lifestyle choices. These have a truly powerful impact. They can significantly influence your blood pressure, regardless of your genetic makeup. This is where you have incredible control. Think about what you eat every day. The amount of salt in your diet, whether you enjoy plenty of fruits and vegetables. Think about how much you move your body. Are you active regularly, or mostly sedentary? Your daily habits add up significantly. They can either protect you, or they can increase your risk. The choice is often yours to make. There's a famous saying in medicine: genes load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. You might have a genetic predisposition, a tendency towards higher blood pressure, but your lifestyle can be the deciding factor. It can determine whether that gun actually fires, or if it remains safely unloaded. This is an empowering thought. So, let's explore these external factors, the world that surrounds you every day, and the choices you make within it. Section 7. Stress, the pressure cooker within. Let's talk about stress. It's a word we hear all the time. Modern life seems absolutely full of it. From work pressures to family worries, stress is a natural human response, but it can be a major player in hypertension. A very significant, often underestimated factor. We all experience it in different ways, and it affects our bodies profoundly. When you feel stressed, your body reacts instantly. It goes into fight or flight mode. Your adrenal glands release stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. Your heart starts to race much faster. Your muscles tense up, ready for action. And crucially, your blood pressure climbs. This is a temporary, natural survival mechanism, designed to help you face a threat. The real problem arises with chronic stress. That's when the stress doesn't go away. It becomes a constant companion in your life. Your body stays in that state of high alert, day in and day out, relentlessly. This means your blood pressure can remain elevated for prolonged periods, not just for moments. This sustained high pressure strains your system. It contributes to long-term hypertension. Therefore, learning to manage your stress effectively is key for your overall health. Section 8. Genes versus lifestyle, the great hypertension debate. So we arrive at the big question: what holds more sway over your blood pressure? Is it your inherited genetic code, the blueprint you can't really change, or is it your daily lifestyle choices, the habits that you can control? This is the great hypertension debate. Many people wonder about this balance, and the answer is truly fascinating. The truth is, it's rarely an either-or situation. It's almost always a combination of both. Your genes and your lifestyle interact. They engage in a constant dynamic dance, influencing each other in complex ways. Some people may have very strong genetic risks. Others may develop hypertension mainly due to lifestyle, but for most, it's a delicate interplay. Understanding this interaction is key. You cannot change the genes you were born with. That is a fundamental biological fact. If your family history points to a risk, that risk factor is part of your profile. But, and this is incredibly empowering, you can absolutely change your lifestyle. You can modify your diet, you can increase your physical activity, you can learn to manage stress better. Your actions matter immensely. Section 9. Taking control your action plan for a healthy heart. Knowledge is your greatest power here. Now you understand more about hypertension, about the roles of genes and lifestyle. It's time to translate that knowledge into action. Your personal action plan for a healthy heart. This is where you take the driving seat. You are in charge of your well-being. Don't underestimate. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Decoding Life. Today, we're diving deep into something many of you might be experiencing, perhaps without even realizing its deeper implications. I'm talking about changes in your hair. You might notice more strands than usual in your shower drain, or perhaps your hairbrush seems fuller after each use. Maybe you've spotted some unexplained graying, or those edges just aren't as full as they used to be. It's easy to chalk this up to stress, a new hair product, or just a bad hair day that stretches into weeks. But what if I told you it's often more than just that? Your hair can be a powerful messenger, sending out urgent signals about what's happening in your body, particularly with your hormones. These subtle or sometimes not so subtle changes aren't just cosmetic concerns, they can be vital clues. Think of your hair as an early warning system. Hormones are the chemical messengers that regulate so many of our body's functions, from metabolism and mood to, yes, even hair growth and health. When these messengers are out of balance, your hair is often one of the first places you'll see the signs. It's not just about the hair on your head either. Changes in body hair can also tell a significant story. So, if you've been puzzled by what your hair is doing lately, you're in the right place. In this video, we're going to decode exactly what your hair might be trying to tell you about your hormonal health. We'll explore specific hair symptoms, link them to potential hormonal imbalances, and discuss the kinds of tests that can help you and your doctor get to the root cause. Understanding these connections is the first step towards taking control of your health. So let's get started and uncover the secrets your hair holds. Stick around because this information could be a game changer for you. Alright, let's kick things off with one of the most common culprits behind noticeable hair thinning or increased hair fall, your thyroid gland. This small, butterfly-shaped gland in your neck plays a massive role in regulating your body's metabolism. Think of it as the control center for how quickly your body uses energy and makes proteins. And hair, as you know, is made of protein, specifically keratin. When your thyroid isn't functioning optimally, it can throw this entire process out of whack, and your hair is often one of the first casualties. Specifically, we're often talking about hypothyroidism, a condition where your thyroid gland doesn't produce enough thyroid hormones. These hormones, primarily thyroxine, T4, and triiodothyronine, T3, are essential for the development and maintenance of the hair follicle. When their levels are low, the entire hair growth cycle can be disrupted. This isn't just a minor inconvenience, it's a physiological response to a significant slowdown in your body's operational speed. Your body, in an effort to conserve resources due to a perceived lack of energy, might deprioritize non-essential functions like robust hair growth. So how does this low thyroid state actually impact your hair? Well, thyroid hormones help regulate the hair growth cycle, which consists of a growth phase, anagen, a transitional phase, catagen, and a resting phase, telogen, after which the hair sheds. With hypothyroidism, more hair follicles can be prematurely pushed into the telogen phase, and they tend to stay there longer. This means less hair is actively growing and more hair is shedding, leading to that diffuse thinning all over the scalp. The signs aren't always just about the quantity of hair but also the quality. You might notice your hair becoming unusually dry, coarse, and brittle. It might lose its shine and tangle more easily. The thinning is often generalized, but some people notice it more prominently around the crown or the temples. Next up, let's talk about something that can be quite startling for many finding gray or white hairs, especially if you feel it's happening prematurely, say, before the age of 35. While genetics certainly play a significant role in when we start to gray, sudden or accelerated graying can also be a sign that certain hormonal shifts or increased physiological stress are impacting your hair's pigment-producing cells. One major factor can be a drop in key hormones, particularly estrogen in women going through perimenopause or menopause, and testosterone in men during andropause. These sex hormones do more than just regulate reproductive health. They also have a protective and supportive role for melanocytes, the specialized cells within your hair follicles responsible for producing melanin, the pigment that gives your hair its color. As levels of these hormones decline, melanocyte function can become less efficient, or they may even start to die off earlier than genetically programmed. Beyond these age-related hormonal declines, another powerful player in premature graying is oxidative stress. This is essentially an imbalance between free radicals, unstable molecules that can damage cells, and your body's ability to counteract them with antioxidants. When free radicals overwhelm your antioxidant defenses, they can wreak havoc on various cells, including those precious melanocytes. Now let's shift gears from hair loss or graying on the scalp to the appearance of hair in places where women typically don't expect to see it or see very little of it. I'm talking about hirsutism, the growth of coarse, dark hair in a male-like pattern, such as on the chin, upper lip, chest, abdomen, or back. This can be incredibly distressing, and is a very common sign that your androgen levels, often referred to as male hormones, though women have them too, just in smaller amounts, might be higher than they should be. The primary drivers behind hirsutism are these androgens, particularly testosterone and its more potent derivative, dihydrotestosterone, DHT. when androgen levels are elevated in women, or if hair follicles become overly sensitive to normal androgen levels, they can stimulate the vellus hairs, the fine, light peach fuzz, in these areas to transform into terminal hairs, which are thicker, darker, and more noticeable. One of the most common conditions associated with high androgens and hirsutism in women is polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS. PCOS is a complex hormonal disorder that affects many women of reproductive age. It's characterized by a trio of potential features: irregular periods or no periods, high levels of androgens, which can cause hirsutism and acne, and polycystic ovaries, where the ovaries develop numerous small follicles and may fail to regularly release eggs. Not every woman with PCOS will have all three, but high androgens are a very common feature. A key factor often underlying PCOS and the associated high androgen levels is insulin resistance. Let's turn our attention to hair that feels dry, looks dull, and seems to break off at the slightest provocation. If your hair has become noticeably brittle, rough to the touch, and snaps easily when you brush or style it, chronic stress and its primary hormonal player, cortisol, might be to blame. We all experience stress, but when it becomes a long-term, unrelenting state, it can take a significant toll on our bodies, and our hair is no exception. Cortisol, often dubbed the stress hormone, is produced by your adrenal glands. In short bursts, it's incredibly helpful. It gives you that fight-or-flight response needed to deal with immediate threats. However, when stress is chronic, whether from work pressure, emotional turmoil, or even underlying illness, cortisol levels can remain persistently elevated. This sustained high cortisol environment can disrupt many bodily functions, including the delicate processes involved in healthy hair growth and maintenance. One of the primary ways high cortisol impacts your hair is by affecting the hair growth cycle. Elevated cortisol can prematurely push more of your hair follicles from the anagen, growth phase into the telogen, resting phase. This condition, known as telogen effluvium, results in increased shedding a few months after a stressful period. Furthermore, chronic high cortisol can also shorten the duration of the anagen phase itself, meaning hairs don't grow as long or as strong as they normally would, contributing to that brittle, easily broken quality. There's also a physiological mechanism at play involving blood flow and nutrient delivery. Finally, let's address a specific combination of symptoms that often troubles individuals, particularly those over 40, an increasingly oily scalp accompanied by noticeable hair fall. You might find yourself needing to wash your hair more frequently than ever before due to greasiness, while simultaneously seeing more hair than you're comfortable with in the shower drain or on your pillow. This duo of symptoms can be particularly perplexing, but it often points towards hormonal shifts common during midlife transitions. For many, especially women, this pattern can be a telltale sign of perimenopause, the transitional period leading up to menopause. In men, similar changes can occur during andropause, sometimes referred to as male menopause. These life stages are characterized by fluctuating and ultimately declining levels of key sex hormones, and this hormonal roller coaster can have a direct impact on both your scalp's oil production and your hair follicles' health and retention. In women, as estrogen levels begin to decline during perimenopause, the relative balance between estrogens and androgens can shift. So, as we've explored today, the state of your hair can truly be a window into your hormonal health. It's not just about aesthetics, it's about biology. If you're noticing significant changes in your hair, whether it's thinning, sudden graying, unusual growth, brittleness, or that tricky combination of oiliness and fall, and these changes are accompanied by other persistent symptoms like fatigue, unexplained weight shifts, irregular periods or changes in your cycle, dramatic mood swings, or sleep disturbances, please don't just brush it off. These are important signals. It's absolutely time to have a conversation with your doctor. Remember, hormones aren't just cosmetic influencers. They are fundamental to your entire body's well-being, affecting everything from your energy levels to your heart health. The fascinating thing is that your hair often speaks before your lab results might scream. Subtle shifts in your hair's texture, density, or color can be among the earliest indicators that something
Hey everyone, Dr. Mike here. Today we're diving into some common daily habits that could be harming your kidneys without you even realizing it. We often think about our heart health, brain health, but our kidneys are the silent workhorses of our bodies, filtering waste products, balancing electrolytes, and even regulating blood pressure. Let's uncover some of those sneaky habits that might be putting extra stress on these vital organs. Let's get started. Staying hydrated is crucial for kidney health. When you don't drink enough water, your urine becomes more concentrated. This increases the risk of forming kidney stones, which are like little jagged crystals that can cause excruciating pain. Not only that, but concentrated urine also creates a breeding ground for bacteria, making you more susceptible to painful urinary tract infections. We've all been there, stuck in a meeting or on a long drive with no restroom in sight, but holding in your urine for too long isn't just uncomfortable, it can actually harm your kidneys. Similar to not drinking enough water, holding in urine allows bacteria to multiply, increasing the risk of urinary tract infections. Over time, the pressure from holding it in can even damage the bladder and kidneys. We all love a little salty snack, but a diet high in sodium can really do a number on your kidneys. See, your kidneys work hard to regulate your blood pressure. When you consume too much salt, it disrupts this balance, forcing your kidneys to work overtime. This can lead to high blood pressure, which is a major risk factor for kidney disease. Painkillers, especially over-the-counter ones like ibuprofen and naproxen, can be lifesavers for headaches and muscle aches. But using them too frequently or in high doses can put a strain on your kidneys. These medications, known as NSAIDs, reduce blood flow to the kidneys, which can impair their function, especially if you're already prone to kidney problems. We all have a sweet tooth, but a diet loaded with sugary drinks and processed foods can spell trouble for your kidneys. High sugar intake is a major contributor to diabetes and obesity, both of which significantly increase your risk of developing kidney disease. Over time, high blood sugar damages the blood vessels in your kidneys, making it harder for them to filter waste effectively. We all know smoking is terrible for our lungs and heart, but it's also incredibly damaging to our kidneys. Smoking damages blood vessels, reducing blood flow throughout the body, including to your kidneys. This makes it harder for them to function properly. If you already have kidney problems, smoking can accelerate the damage, leading to kidney failure faster. Enjoying a drink socially is fine, but excessive alcohol consumption is a recipe for disaster for your kidneys. Alcohol is a diuretic, meaning it makes you urinate more frequently, leading to dehydration. This puts stress on your kidneys, which need to work harder to filter waste. Additionally, alcohol can raise blood pressure, another risk factor for kidney disease. Living a sedentary lifestyle isn't just bad for your waistline, it's also detrimental to your kidney health. Regular physical activity helps you maintain a healthy weight, which is crucial for preventing obesity, a major risk factor for kidney disease. Exercise also helps control blood pressure and blood sugar levels, further protecting your kidneys. Protein is essential for building and repairing tissues, but consuming excessive amounts, especially if you have existing kidney problems, can overburden these organs. Your kidneys work hard to filter out the waste products of protein metabolism. If you overload them with protein, it can lead to a buildup of these waste products in your blood, putting extra stress on your kidneys. We all know a good night's sleep is essential for feeling refreshed and energized, but it's also crucial for your kidneys. While you sleep, your body repairs damaged tissues, including those in your kidneys. Chronic sleep deprivation disrupts this repair process, potentially leading to long-term impairment of kidney function. Infections, especially urinary tract infections, should never be ignored. UTIs occur when bacteria enter the urinary tract and multiply. If left untreated, these infections can spread to the kidneys, causing a more serious condition called pyelonephritis. This can lead to permanent kidney damage if not addressed promptly. We live in a world of convenience, but those heavily processed foods often come with a hidden cost to our kidney health. Processed foods are typically loaded with sodium, which we already know is bad for our kidneys, but they also contain high amounts of phosphorus additives, used as preservatives and flavor enhancers. In excess, phosphorus can be harmful to your kidneys, especially if you have pre-existing kidney disease. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more health tips. Remember, your kidneys play a vital role in keeping you healthy. By being mindful of these common habits and making healthier choices, you can protect your kidneys and ensure they function optimally for years to come. Take care of your kidneys and see you next. Do you keep waking up to pee in the middle of the night? It's not just annoying, it could be nocturia. But here's the good news. There are foods that can actually help you sleep through the night. Stick around, because these 8 natural foods may be your new secret to deep, uninterrupted sleep. Welcome to Decoding Life, where health meets science in everyday language. Subscribe for real, simple solutions to live smarter and sleep better. Have you or someone you know struggled with nighttime urination? Share your experience below. We read every comment and your tips might help others. All right, let's dive into the foods that can help you snooze without those annoying midnight bathroom trips. 1. Bananas. Bananas are rich in potassium and magnesium, both of which help relax bladder muscles and reduce nighttime urgency. Add them to your oatmeal or enjoy one as a bedtime snack for a restful night. 2. Cranberries. Cranberries aren't just for UTIs. They also protect the bladder lining and reduce irritation that triggers nighttime trips. Toss them into a smoothie or snack on dried cranberries. 3. Oatmeal. Oatmeal is a great source of fiber that helps manage blood sugar levels, reducing the urge to urinate at night. Start your day with a hearty bowl of oatmeal. Your bladder will thank you. 4. Yogurt. Yogurt is packed with probiotics that support a healthy bladder and overall gut health. Enjoy a cup of plain yogurt with some honey before bed. 5. Cherries. Cherries are high in melatonin, a hormone that regulates sleep. A handful of cherries or a glass of tart cherry juice can help you drift off and stay asleep. 6. Pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are loaded with zinc and omega-3s, essential for bladder health. Sprinkle them over salads or blend into smoothies. 7. Apples. Apples are high in fiber and can help prevent bladder irritation. An apple a day keeps those midnight bathroom trips away. 8. Sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are rich in complex carbohydrates that help regulate sleep patterns. Bake them or make a comforting sweet potato mash. Now let's talk about what to drink, because what you sip matters just as much as what you eat. These 6 drinks support hydration without overstimulating the bladder. 1. Pear juice. 2. Coconut water. 3. Decaf herbal tea. 4. Pumpkin seed infusion. 5. Aloe vera. Hey everyone, it's Amna. As a holistic health practitioner, I talk a lot about the connection between your mind and body. Today, we're diving deep into this connection to explore how your emotions can actually impact specific organs. If you didn't know, your emotions are silently hurting your organs. It sounds crazy, right? But in traditional Chinese medicine, we've known this for centuries. And now, modern science is catching up. So if you're holding on to anger, drowning in grief, consumed by worry, paralyzed by fear, or just plain stressed out, this video is for you. We're going to break down exactly how each emotion affects your body and what you can do to heal. Let's get started. All right, let's talk about anger. We all feel it, it's a natural human emotion, but when it comes to your health, staying angry for too long can really do some damage. In traditional Chinese medicine, we say that anger stagnates the qi or energy in your liver. Think about it. When you're really mad, you might feel a tightness or pain in your right side, right where your liver is. That's your body telling you something's off. Over time, all that pent-up anger can disrupt your liver's ability to do its job, which is to detoxify your blood and regulate your hormones. So what can you do about it? Well, first you have to acknowledge your anger. Don't bottle it up. Find healthy ways to express it, like exercise, journaling, or talking to a therapist. Remember, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Next up, we have grief. Grief is a powerful emotion that can feel all-consuming, and it often manifests physically in the lungs. Think about the image of someone who's grieving. They might be slumped over. Their breathing shallow and restricted. According to traditional Chinese medicine, grief weakens the lungs' energy, making us more susceptible to respiratory issues like colds, coughs, and even asthma. When you're grieving, it's important to allow yourself to feel the sadness. Don't try to suppress it. Crying is actually a really healthy release for grief, so let the tears flow. Breathing exercises like deep belly breaths can also help to open up the lungs and move that stagnant energy. Chapter 3. Now let's talk about worry. We live in a world that constantly bombards us with reasons to worry, but chronic worry can wreak havoc on your stomach and gut. Ever notice how you get butterflies in your stomach when you're nervous or anxious? That's because your gut is actually your second brain, and it's incredibly sensitive to stress and worry. When you're constantly worrying, your digestive system can't function properly. This can lead to indigestion, bloating, constipation, and even more serious gut issues. To combat worry's effects on your gut, try incorporating mindfulness practices into your daily routine, like meditation or yoga. These practices can help calm your nervous system and soothe your gut. Chapter 4. Moving on to fear. While a healthy dose of fear can be protective, chronic fear and anxiety can take a toll on your kidneys. In traditional Chinese medicine, the kidneys are seen as the storehouse of our vital energy, or Jing. When we're constantly in a state of fear, it's like we're draining our reserves, leaving us feeling depleted and exhausted. This can manifest as low back pain, frequent urination, and even dizziness. To nourish your kidneys and combat fear, try incorporating grounding practices into your routine, like spending time in nature or practicing earthing. Chapter 5. Last but certainly not least, let's talk about stress. Stress is practically an epidemic in our modern world, and it affects every single organ system in the body. When you're stressed, your body goes into fight or flight mode, releasing a surge of hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. In small doses, these hormones are helpful, but when they're constantly being released, they can damage your heart, increase your risk of stroke, and even suppress your immune system. Managing stress is crucial for overall health. Find what works for you, whether it's exercise, meditation, spending time with loved ones, or simply taking a few minutes each day to just breathe. Remember, your body is always communicating with you. Those aches, pains, and digestive woes, they might be your body's way of telling you to pay attention to your emotional well-being. Your emotions matter more than you think. Healing your mind is healing your body. Follow at fit_for_you_FFY for more mind-body wellness insights. Take care of your mental and emotional health, and your body will thank you for it.
Every 40 seconds, someone, somewhere, has a stroke. Many never saw it coming. Everyday habits silently increase your risk over time. But here's the good news. Once you know what these hidden triggers are, you can take control of your health and protect your brain. In this video, we're going to decode 7 common habits that could be putting you at risk and give you actionable steps to safeguard your brain health. This is Decoding Life, where we break down complex medical topics into easy-to-understand advice you can use right now. If you're serious about protecting your body and brain, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Let's talk about breakfast, often hailed as the most important meal of the day, especially for your brain health. When you wake up after hours of fasting, your body needs fuel to kickstart your metabolism and stabilize your blood sugar levels. Skipping breakfast throws your body into a stress response, leading to a surge in cortisol, the stress hormone. Chronically skipping breakfast keeps your body in this heightened stress mode. This constant elevation in cortisol can wreak havoc on your blood vessels, causing damage over time. Imagine your arteries are like highways for your blood to flow smoothly. Chronically elevated cortisol due to breakfast skipping is like allowing heavy construction vehicles to constantly rumble on these highways, causing wear and tear, leading to cracks and potholes. These potholes in your arteries are prime spots for plaque buildup, narrowing them and restricting blood flow. And what happens when blood flow to the brain is suddenly interrupted? You guessed it, a stroke. Skipping breakfast also messes with your blood pressure. That spike in cortisol I talked about, it also causes a surge in your blood pressure, putting extra strain on your already stressed arteries. Even a quick and simple breakfast, like a piece of fruit and a handful of nuts, can make a world of difference. Fuel your body, stabilize your blood sugar, and keep that cortisol in check. Let's talk about salt, the flavor enhancer we all love. While a dash of salt can make your food tastier, too much of it can spell trouble for your brain. Sodium, The main component of salt has a sneaky way of hiding in plain sight. It's in bread, sauces, processed foods, even those healthy snacks you grab on the go. Excess sodium causes our bodies to retain water, increasing blood volume and pressure on artery walls. High sodium intake doesn't just increase blood pressure, it also directly damages our blood vessels. Over time, excess sodium causes the smooth muscle cells in our arteries to become stiff, losing their elasticity. This stiffness, combined with the increased pressure from the extra fluid, creates the perfect storm for a stroke. Reducing your sodium intake is a powerful way to protect your brain. Start by reading food labels carefully, cooking more meals at home, and opting for fresh, whole foods over processed options. We live in a world that often prioritizes convenience and efficiency, leading to more time spent sitting. Prolonged sitting has become a silent epidemic, and it's wreaking havoc on our health, particularly our brain health. Our bodies are designed for movement. When we sit for extended periods, our circulation slows down, muscles become inactive, and our body's natural processes for clearing toxins and regulating blood sugar become sluggish. Regular exercise is crucial for overall health, but it doesn't fully counteract the negative effects of prolonged sitting. Prolonged sitting increases your risk of stroke by promoting blood clots. When you sit for extended periods, blood flow in your legs slows down, increasing the risk of clots forming in the deep veins. If a clot breaks free and travels to the brain, it can block an artery, causing a stroke. Prolonged sitting weakens your heart. Like any muscle, your heart needs regular exercise to stay strong. When you sit for long stretches, your heart doesn't have to work as hard, and over time it can become weaker and less efficient at pumping blood effectively. Set a timer to stand up and move around every 30 minutes, take the stairs instead of the elevator, walk or bike instead of driving short distances. Every little bit of movement counts. We all know smoking is harmful, but when it comes to stroke risk, it's like throwing gasoline on a fire. Cigarette smoke contains thousands of chemicals, many of which are toxic and directly damage our blood vessels. Nicotine, the addictive component in cigarettes, causes your blood vessels to constrict, narrowing the pathways for blood flow. This narrowing forces your heart to work harder to pump blood through your body, increasing your blood pressure. Smoking also damages the lining of your arteries, making them sticky and more prone to plaque buildup. This plaque further narrows the arteries, increasing the risk of a blockage that can cut off blood supply to the brain, leading to a stroke. Secondhand smoke, the smoke inhaled from someone else's cigarette, is just as dangerous. Exposure to secondhand smoke increases the risk of stroke by damaging blood vessels, increasing blood pressure, and making blood more likely to clot. If you smoke, quitting is the single best thing you can do for your health. And if you live with a smoker, encourage them to quit for their sake and yours. Your brain will thank you for creating a smoke-free environment. In today's fast-paced world, sleep often gets pushed aside. Chronic sleep deprivation is like slowly chipping away at your brain health, increasing your risk of stroke significantly. Sleep isn't just about resting our bodies, it's a time for our brains to recharge, repair, and clear out toxins that accumulate throughout the day. When we consistently shortchange our sleep, we disrupt these essential processes, throwing our bodies into a state of chronic stress. When we don't get enough sleep, our bodies release a surge of hormones, including cortisol, the stress hormone. This chronic elevation in cortisol, driven by sleep debt, leads to a cascade of negative effects on our cardiovascular system. Sleep deprivation increases inflammation throughout our bodies. Inflammation is a natural process that helps our bodies heal, but chronic inflammation, fueled by lack of sleep, damages blood vessels, making them more susceptible to plaque buildup and clots. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every night, establish a relaxing bedtime routine, and create a sleep sanctuary free from distractions. Your brain will thank you for it. We all experience stress and anger. They're normal human emotions. But it's not the emotions themselves that are harmful, but rather how we manage and process them. Bottling up stress and anger, suppressing them instead of addressing them healthily, can have serious consequences for your brain health, increasing your risk of stroke. Think of it like this. Imagine your emotions are like steam building up in a pressure cooker. If you keep the lid tightly sealed and don't allow any release, eventually the pressure will become too much and the cooker will explode. Similarly, when we bottle up stress and anger, they don't just magically disappear. they fester and build up inside us, putting immense strain on our bodies, especially our cardiovascular system. This chronic stress response triggers a cascade of physiological changes that increase our risk of stroke. When we experience stress or anger, our bodies release adrenaline and cortisol, hormones that increase our heart rate and constrict our blood vessels, leading to a rapid spike in blood pressure. Over time, these repeated spikes damage our arteries, making them more susceptible to plaque buildup and clots. Engage in stress-reducing activities like meditation, yoga, or spending time in nature. Find healthy ways to express your anger, like talking to a therapist or engaging in physical activity. High blood pressure, also known as hypertension, is often called the silent killer, and for good reason. Many people with high blood pressure don't experience any noticeable symptoms, leading them to believe they're perfectly healthy. But untreated high blood pressure is a major risk factor for stroke, and ignoring it is like ignoring a ticking time bomb in your head. Blood pressure is the force of blood pushing against the walls of your arteries as your heart pumps blood. When your blood pressure is consistently too high, it puts extra strain on your arteries, damaging them over time. Imagine a garden hose with too much water pressure flowing through it. Eventually the hose will weaken, bulge, or even burst. The same thing can happen to your arteries with uncontrolled high blood pressure. This damage makes your arteries more susceptible to plaque buildup, narrowing the pathways for blood flow. If a blood clot forms in a narrowed artery or a piece of plaque breaks free and lodges in an artery leading to the brain, it can block blood flow, causing a stroke. Regular blood. Imagine a giant book. This book is incredibly special. It is inside every living thing, from the smallest germ to the biggest whale. You have this book inside you too. It is called DNA. DNA is like a cookbook for life. It holds all the recipes that make you, you. This amazing cookbook is very long. It contains thousands of recipes. These recipes tell your body how to grow. They decide the color of your eyes. They determine how tall you might become. They even influence parts of your personality. Every living creature has its own unique cookbook. This makes each of us different and special. The cookbook is written in a secret code. This code uses only 4 letters, A, T, C, and G. These letters combine to make words. The words then form sentences. These sentences are the recipes, or genes. This code is the language of biology. We are learning to rewrite life's cookbook. Each recipe in the DNA cookbook is a gene. Genes are specific sets of instructions. Think of them like individual recipes. One gene might be a recipe for making hair, another gene could be a recipe for building a heart. Each gene has a particular job to do. It tells a small part of the story of you. There are thousands of these genes, all working together to create a living being. Most genes tell your body how to make proteins. Proteins are the tiny workers in your cells. They are incredibly important molecules. They do almost all the work inside you. Some proteins help you digest your food, others help you fight off nasty germs, some carry oxygen all around your body. Proteins are the engines and builders of life. Sometimes there is a mistake in a recipe, a tiny error like a typo in the cookbook. This mistake can happen in a gene. When a gene has a mistake, it can cause problems. It is like a cake recipe with the wrong ingredient. In our bodies, a gene mistake can lead to diseases. Scientists learn to read these genes very carefully. This dream led to the field of genetic engineering. Imagine you want to fix that typo in the cookbook. You would need some very special tools. Perhaps a tiny pair of scissors, and an equally tiny pen for writing. Genetic engineering provides scientists with these tools. They are molecular tools, small enough to work with DNA. This allows for changes at the most basic level of life. It is like being a chef for the very code of life. A chef who can alter the fundamental recipes. Genetic engineering is a powerful technique. It allows scientists to change an organism's DNA. They can add new genes from other organisms, they can remove genes that are causing problems, or they can edit existing genes to work differently. This is sometimes called genetic modification. It is a way to rewrite the instructions for life. The aim is often to improve an organism, or to give it a new, useful ability. This idea of changing living things is not entirely new. Humans have been doing it for thousands of years. Think about how we have bred dogs. From wolves, we created many different breeds. Farmers have always chosen the best seeds from their crops. Modern genetic engineering is much more precise. It allows for targeted changes to be made. One of the newest tools is called CRISPR. CRISPR stands for Clustered Regularly Interspaced Short Palindromic Repeats. That is quite a long name, isn't it? But what it does is truly amazing. CRISPR is often described as genetic scissors. It is incredibly precise, like a molecular scalpel. It can find a specific spot in the vast DNA cookbook. It can even target a single letter in the code. This accuracy has changed genetic research dramatically. CRISPR was first discovered in bacteria. Bacteria are tiny, single-celled organisms. They use CRISPR as a defense system. It helps them fight off invading viruses. The bacteria store snippets of viral DNA. If the virus attacks again, CRISPR recognizes it. Then it cuts up the virus's DNA, disabling it. Scientists realized this system could be adapted. They saw its potential for editing any DNA. The Cas9 enzyme acts as the scissors. When the guide finds the target, Cas9 makes a cut. Once the DNA is cut, scientists have options. The cell's natural repair systems kick in. This is how a new healthy gene can be added. It is like using find and replace in a document. Section 5. Sweet Success. Engineering insulin for health. Let us look at a real-life example of success. Many people around the world have diabetes. Diabetes is a serious health condition. People with type 1 diabetes cannot make enough insulin. Insulin is a hormone, a chemical messenger. It helps our bodies use sugar from food for energy. Without enough insulin, sugar builds up in the blood. This can cause many health problems. It can damage eyes, kidneys, and nerves. Before genetic engineering, insulin was harder to get. The main source was from animals. Doctors used insulin taken from pigs and cows. This animal insulin saved many lives, but it was not a perfect solution. It was expensive to produce in large amounts. Sometimes people had allergic reactions to it. Their bodies saw the animal insulin as foreign. There was a clear need for a better source. Then, scientists had a very clever idea. They decided to use genetic engineering. They took the human gene that codes for insulin. This gene contains the recipe for making human insulin. They carefully inserted this gene into bacteria. These bacteria became tiny living factories. They started to produce human insulin. This insulin is pure, safe, and effective. Section 6. A greener revolution: crops that fight their own battles. Genetic engineering is also transforming agriculture. It is helping farmers grow more food. Farmers face many difficult challenges every year. Pests, like insects, can eat their precious crops. Plant diseases can spread quickly and destroy harvests. Weeds compete with crops for sunlight, water, and nutrients. These problems can lead to significant food losses. This is a big concern for a growing world population. We need ways to make farming more efficient. Scientists can use genetic engineering to help plants. They can give plants new genes. These genes can provide useful traits. For example, some corn and cotton plants have been modified. They now carry a gene from a bacterium called Bt. This gene allows the plants to produce their own insecticide. When certain pests try to eat the plant, they die. This reduces the need for farmers to spray chemical pesticides. Other crops have been engineered to resist herbicides. Herbicides are chemicals used to kill weeds. Normally, spraying herbicides would kill the crop too, but these special crops have an added gene. This gene makes them tolerant to the herbicide. Farmers can spray their fields to remove weeds. The weeds die, but the crop plants remain healthy. Genetic engineering can also improve the nutritional value of food. Section 7. Beyond food and medicine. Diverse applications of gene editing. The power of genetic engineering extends far. It is not just for doctors treating patients, nor is it only for farmers in their fields. Many different types of people use these tools. Researchers and laboratories are major users. They use it to understand the very basics of life. How do genes work? What does each one do? These fundamental questions can be explored. This knowledge builds a foundation for future breakthroughs. In research labs, scientists often edit genes. They do this in what are called model organisms. These include creatures like mice and fruit flies. Even yeast and tiny worms are used. These organisms share many genes with humans. By changing a gene in a mouse, scientists can learn. They see what happens when that gene is altered. This helps them understand human diseases better. It is crucial for developing new treatments. Industries are also finding uses for genetic engineering. Some bacteria have been engineered to clean up pollution. They can break down oil spills in the ocean, or they can remove toxic waste from the ground. Other microbes are being designed to produce biofuels. Section 8. The recipe's fine print, ethical dilemmas, and environmental questions. Changing the fundamental cookbook of life is a profound act. It is a technology with immense power, and with such power come very serious questions. We must think carefully about how we use it. Is it always right to alter an organism's genes? What if we make an unintended mistake? The consequences could be long-lasting. These are important ethical concerns we must address. Society needs to be part of this conversation. One major area of debate is human genetic modification, especially changes that could be passed to future generations. This is called germline editing. Some people worry about the idea of designer babies. Will parents want to choose their child's traits? Perhaps selecting for height, intelligence, or athletic ability? This raises deep social and moral issues. Section 9. The next edition, charting a responsible future for genetic engineering. Genetic engineering holds truly enormous promise for humanity. It offers us new ways to tackle old problems. It could help us cure devastating